Hello everybody, this is the Last Raider and we are back with another video. And I was going through Twitter today looking for more entertainment stuff to do, and I ran across this, and really this really needs to have a video made about it. Not sure who Eric Last is. I don't know. Am I following this guy? No, I'm not. So apparently he has now come up on Twitter with a very interesting situation that has now happened. And this just kind of ticks me off if it is true. Let's jump into it. Eric Last, please pass this on to everyone. I need a Texas civil rights attorney because I'm sure they're not going to make this right. Wendland Hotels at Days Inn. So we'll jump right in here into what he has to say. Help needed, please pass this on. Businesses should not get to treat people this way and get away with it. I served my country for 20 years, and with my last 12 years as a Navy SEAL, I have a service dog that is well behaved and trained. Keyword, service dog. The Days Inn by Windham in Sherman, Texas, apparently has issues with service animals and military veterans. They kicked us out only because I had a service dog with me. Now, there's a problem with this, and I believe, and he states in here that there are laws against this, and there is. These laws have been in place since the 90s. A service animal, you have to remember, has the same status. Every service animal is pretty much viewed by the law as a seeing eye dog. So that's how the law views them. Now, not saying all of them are seeing eye dogs, but the use of the service animal, even though it may do different jobs, it may be there as a comfort. Some dogs are there to detect whether you're about to have a seizure. There are some small dogs that are now being used to detect when an asthma attack happens. They can hear when the lungs are starting to close up, and they'll get erratic and get you to take your inhaler before you have an asthma attack and pass out. So it's not as effective, and there's not as much damage on the lungs. There's also dogs that when you're having a seizure, for seizure patients, because having seizures is a disability, they will climb underneath the person's head and cradle it and soften the blows to the head with their own body. Because there have been people that have had brain bleeds, aneurysms, caused themselves concussions because they've had some sort of major seizure. So the dog will get underneath them and cradle their head so they don't hurt themselves. This is very similar to a seeing eye dog. And if you're going to sit there and tell someone that their service animal cannot be there and they have to get out, well, you're basically telling a blind person that their dog that they use to see, which is their other pair of eyes, they cannot have inside the building with them. This is discrimination against someone who has a problem that they cannot help. People do not ask to be blind. People do not ask to not have arms. People don't ask for PTSD. People don't ask to, have seizures and other crap like that. This is a disability. You are not allowed by law to discriminate against someone who has a disability. Kicking them out because of their dog, there is laws against it, and he mentions this here. The front desk person came to my room and told me to leave. He was a good guy, just stuck in the middle because of an owner. And I feel for the service desk guy because I have seen situations where people have been the underling and the boss doesn't have the balls to come out there and do it themselves. They'll send some underling to do it for them because they're too much of a chicken and a coward to do it themselves. Karen running the business was a bitch, okay, and a cowardly bitch. I informed him Shaw is a service dog, educated him on the ADA, and even told him I was a veteran. He was very understanding and left to call the owner back. This continues. He returned minutes later and told me she said she did not care if he was a service dog or not. She wants us gone. I politely told him to have me removed by the police. He left to call the owner, who instructed him to call the police. 2 officers who were professional and courteous showed up and gathered information from me and then informed them, the ADA aside, it's against Texas law and that they would not be making us leave. In other words, when the cops showed up, they basically told Karen, we're not doing this because this is a violation of his civil rights. We are not going to remove him. It's against the law for us to remove him. So already this guy has the law on his side and everything else. Does Karen stop? No, because after the police leave, this is how she continues going on. Minutes later, the front desk person came back and told us the owner just wants us to leave and I said we would not. He returned a couple of times, harassing us for the owner and asking what can the owner do to get us to leave. Finally, I did not want to deal with the harassment and discrimination, and we left. Please see the call screen I requested from public records. I have attached it as proof. Well, there's one coming on the screen. Problem is, as y'all can see when I bring it over, it's kind of cockeyed here. I can't figure out how to turn this thing around. So but you can see here on the screen, if y'all just can turn your head slightly. I'm sorry for this. I don't have the ability to turn the phone anymore. Notes. Individual has trained service dog. The individual is not causing any problems, according to the clerk. In other words, the guy at the front desk was like, yeah, he's not causing any problems. He didn't stand up for Karen. That guy was a good dude. Clerk was told to call police by, not sure what that means. That's a legal term. I don't know. That's a shorthand for a legal term. I'm not sure what it is. Because of the dog, and she did not care if it was a service dog or not. Clerk called her back and told her that individual could not be because of his service dog. Comp then told clerk to tell police to remove the individual because he was a problem and not because of the service dog, and this was far from the truth, according to clerk. There are some people who checked in with service animal, and the owner wants them to leave because of the animal. And you can see this is dated 7/16/2021. It appears to be a phone record, communications of it. So, Days End and Windland Hotels probably need to pay this man, is what I would say. They need to pay him or give him some free hotel service, and Karen needs to either be told to sit down and shut the fuck up, or they'll pull. Because, I mean, she's an owner of a building, probably with Days Inn on the front. They can go in there and tell her, look, you fucked up. You stop doing this. Mind you, Karen does not have the balls probably to go up there and do this herself. She kept sending an underling to do it. So the front desk guy is totally in the right here. He's only doing his job. And he has done everything. He actually in the phone call, he's actually sided with Eric Last here. And when the police showed up and said, hey, he's not being a problem. She just wants him gone. He never one time said, oh yeah, this guy's a problem or anything else. Even the clerk agrees that this is unjust. The police have said this is unjust. The law says it's unjust. But Karen, who apparently hates the military and hates dogs. I don't know what kind of person hates dogs. Tend to think of that dude in the end of, what is it? You don't mess with the Zohan, where he's screaming he's going to blow up the puppies. That's what I kind of bring this to. That's the type of person I assume Karen is. But she's apparently decided she wants to get rid of him because of his dog. Then her story freaking changes where she's saying, oh, it's not because of the dog, it's because of him. Well, it's probably because he's a veteran. Now, if you don't like the military, Karen, I'm sorry. But I think Days Inn has a different policy when it comes to service animals and veterans. Not only that, you violated the fucking law. Even the police said you can't get rid of him. You harassed this man till he left. If this were, let me tell you something, the way discrimination laws work in this country, this man has a disability, that's why he has a service dog. It is no different than going after a gay man and harassing him and making his life miserable until he leaves. It's no different than the Klan walking onto a black man's yard and lighting a cross up there on fire so you can run him out of town. Karen, you have committed to discrimination, and there should be some form of justice needs to be coming down the pipe. If this were Missouri, Karen's ass would get nailed to the wall by a local court. Texas, you're on fucking notice. If you're the civil rights attorney out there, it's your duty to get off your ass and help this man. Anyway, folks, I'm the Last Raider. One of the few times I'm going to tell you I'll do this, share this video out there. Share it with congressmen. Send it to Abbott. Send it to whoever, so that this guy can get some kind of justice out of this nonsense. Because everyone else, I guarantee, Days Inn, Wyndham Hotels, and Karen want this just quietly going to the rug so they can discriminate against someone else later. Anyway, stay safe, stay frosty. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye now.